A third of all people die prematurely from an infectious disease. Worldwide, infections are the most common cause of death, ahead of both cardiovascular disease and cancer. In Germany alone, 60,000 people die from them every year. New strategies to combat infectious diseases are urgently needed. The InfectControl 2020 consortium is tackling this task. More than 30 partners from both industry and science have come together. At joint meetings, they are working to put their plans and ideas into reality as quickly as possible. Exchanging ideas face-to-face regularly is important because the InfectControl partners come from all over Germany. They do not only call different regions home, but they are also from different disciplines. This is an important part of their concept because infections affect all areas of life. InfectControl includes experts from agriculture and veterinary medicine, from infrastructure, transport, and climate research, from medical research and clinical care, as well as public relations and patient education. Ultimately, infectious diseases may be brought under control not just with medication, even if they are absolutely necessary. In hospitals, we're increasingly observing the occurrence of so-called multi-drug resistant bacteria. For their treatment, we have in principle no antibiotics available. That means they're not treatable. On the other hand, we have infections such as human pathogenic fungi that are already hard to deal with anyway, and for their treatment we urgently need new antibiotics. Companies are becoming less and less interested in developing antibiotics. There are only a very few around the world, so with our consortium we need to try to get these companies to jump on board again. The Leibniz Institute for Natural Product Research and Infection Biology, Hans Knoll Institute, is the lead partner of the consortium. Here, scientists identified the basic mechanisms of fungal and bacterial infections, an important prerequisite for new therapies. The Institute has an extensive strain collection with tens of thousands of bacterial and fungal strains. Substances gained from these samples are tested, for instance, for their possible antibiotic properties. The development of a drug, however, is complex and expensive. That's why InfectControl 2020 has set up this close integration of all national experts. A new antibiotic costs $500 million up to $1 billion to bring onto the market. This, of course, is something that you may not be able to afford. It is therefore very important to carry out the various initiatives together, so that the cost of the initial development can be kept as low as possible. Many companies, such as Milton E Biotech GmbH in Mecklenburg-Stettero, support the research partners' projects at InfectControl 2020. They want to use the results to bring new drugs and technologies to the market. These include rapid test devices for infectious diseases, such as those developed by Alera Technologies GmbH in Jena. The company has already launched this analyzer, with the blood of HIV patients being tested on the spot. In the long run, such innovations will not only help the patient, but also strengthen the Eastern German economy by creating new jobs. Some of the more problematic multi-resistant germs are increasingly multiplying in hospitals. This includes EHEC pathogens that cause fatal intestinal infections.
Bei den EHEC-Bakterien wissen wir,
with the EHEC bacteria, we know that a new mutated strain emerges every year, from nowhere, out of the blue, which has, as we say, an increased virulence, leading to various serious diseases. We sometimes find patients with traces of blood in their diarrhea, and even in some patients, severe renal failure. In this network, we are trying to develop better strategies to combat EHEC bacteria in a more efficient way.
EHEC-Bakterien besser zu bekämpfen.
But diseases can be easily transmitted, not only in hospitals, but also in public buildings in which there are large numbers of people. In order to ensure better hygiene, new structures and materials for such buildings are in demand. Because of this, architects from the Technical University of Braunschweig are working with InfectControl 2020. With the help of usage analyses, they plan completely new design possibilities for public buildings. All buildings have functional aspects. That is to say, they need to optimize processes, whether it is an industrial building or whether it's an airport, even if it is, if you like, a hospital. And the experience that we have gained from other types of buildings and hospital buildings allows us to provide excellent input that takes into account critical function points. We can then analyze and propose optimized ways to avoid infection. In addition to lack of hygiene, ever-increasing mobility leads to faster transmission of infectious diseases. Aircraft carry thousands of passengers around the world, and with them infectious germs, in a very short time. Germany's Lufthansa AG is aware of their responsibility for the safety of passengers and staff. With quick tests at airports and better communication, the company wants to find new methods of early detection and prevention of infection risks. As a partner of InfectControl 2020, Lufthansa sees great opportunities. I'm hoping that we pick up on other ways of thinking, other ideas, perhaps also many small-scale innovative aspects which have not yet been thought of. Because the driving force in other consortia is often pure medicine and biotechnology, and here we have brought together representatives of all other branches to emerge as lateral thinkers and thereby bring a different dynamic to this system. This also includes scientists from the Leibniz Institute for Climate Impact Research in Potsdam. Because of climate change, infectious diseases can spread more quickly and efficiently. With increasing temperatures, for example, dangerous disease carriers such as ticks can be found in all regions of Germany. Climate scientists examine what the implications are and what strategies can be used to prevent this from happening. However, it's not just insects that can transmit infectious diseases to humans, but in certain circumstances, also farm animals such as chickens or pigs.
Von den Infektionserregern des Menschen.
Of the infectious agents in man, we think that about 2/3 come from the animal sector, from some animal pool. And with newly emerging infections, this could even be as high as 75%. That means that quite a threatening situation exists. For prevention, the best thing you can do, of course, is vaccinate using the vaccines that are available. Here too, InfectControl will help to develop new vaccines. In many bacterial infections, drug treatment is still the method of choice. Again, there is a large area here for InfectControl to discover new drugs.
Neue Wirkstoffe zu entdecken.
In the framework of InfectControl 2020, veterinarians from the Friedrich Loeffler Institute on Reims near Greifswald want to find new vaccines that protect animals against severe infections. With special bait vaccinations like they are fed here, swine fever in wild pigs and rabies in foxes have already been tackled successfully in Germany. In developing this method, the scientists have worked closely together with IDT Biologica GmbH in Dessau. Here, vaccines are produced and new methods of vaccination are developed. Whether with better vaccination, rapid tests at any time, at any place, or better hygiene in public buildings, InfectControl 2020 will take up the fight against infectious diseases in all areas of social life. For this purpose, the consortium needs the active support of the public. Campaigns such as here for World Sepsis Day should raise public awareness and call for a rethink. If all goes well, not only will lives be saved, but also infections can be prevented. This will benefit everyone and society as a whole. Only then With better prevention and more effective treatment of infectious diseases, will we all face a healthier future?